Good morning, everyone. Bonjour tout le monde. It's been just over a year since the first major flight we organized to bring Canadians home from overseas. When we were coordinating emergency repatriations last winter, our priority was doing whatever it took to keep people safe. And from that moment right through to today, that continues to be what we're focused on. From border measures to vaccines to rapid testing to the wage subsidy, we're using every tool in the toolbox to get us all through this crisis. Let me start with some news on border measures. As of February 15th, when you return to Canada through a land border, you'll need to show a 72-hour PCR test, just like for air travel. Dès lundi prochain, le 15 février, lorsque vous revenez au Canada par les frontières terrestres, vous devrez fournir un résultat de test négatif remontant à un maximum de 72 heures, comme pour le retour par avion pour les voyageurs non essentiels. Today, I also have some news to share on vaccines. This week, tens of thousands of Pfizer vaccine doses will be delivered to Canada. This is good news for so many people who will be getting their dose. We know we all want to feel that relief of getting vaccinated, of watching our loved ones get vaccinated. We're all eager to know when it's going to be our turn. Well, I can tell you we are still very much on track for tens of millions of doses into the spring, and for everyone who wants to be vaccinated by September. Moving forward, in the coming weeks and months, we're going to get even more doses, even faster, so we can all move through this together. Next week marks the start of a major ramp-up in vaccine shipments. Starting on the 15th, we're expecting hundreds of thousands more doses each week, and that's just from Pfizer. There are also other vaccine candidates currently in the approval process, and the top experts at Health Canada are working around the clock to ensure that any of these new vaccines approved is both safe and effective. On a déjà administré plus d'1 million de doses de vaccins contre la COVID-19 au Canada. Ces doses vitales ont été administrées à vos parents dans un établissement de soins de longue durée, à votre amie qui est infirmière ou à votre voisin qui est préposé au service de soutien à la personne. Et c'est seulement un début. On va poursuivre ces efforts jusqu'à ce que tous les Canadiens qui le souhaitent puissent se faire vacciner. Cette semaine, ce sont des dizaines de milliers de doses supplémentaires de Pfizer qui arrivent et plusieurs autres millions s'en viennent. En ce qui concerne les vaccins, les choses se déroulent comme prévu, malgré des délais temporaires. On va recevoir 20 millions de doses de Pfizer et de Moderna au cours du printemps. D'autres candidats vaccins sont en cours d'approbation. Les experts de Santé Canada travaillent très fort et vous pouvez être certain que tout vaccin approuvé sera sûr et sécuritaire. Je le confirme, vous et votre famille pourrez vous faire vacciner d'ici septembre. Mais même si tout se déroule comme prévu quant aux vaccins qui seront livrés aux Canadiens, on n'est pas encore sorti du bois. En gardant vos distances, en vous lavant les mains et en portant le masque, vous continuez à contribuer aux efforts contre la COVID-19. Il ne faut surtout pas lâcher. This morning, I also want to talk about where we are with testing. Rapid testing is key to keeping this virus under control, especially in schools, long-term care homes, and workplaces. Last Friday, this is something I spoke about with Dr. Janine McCready in Toronto. She and her team have spearheaded an innovative testing program at several schools, getting tests directly to communities that need it. In some neighborhoods, she told me that as many as 1 in 5 tests, that's 20%, come back positive. Clearly, there's real need for this testing. Her work shows that when people can get screened for COVID-19 and then get their results quickly, we can stop the spread. And this is true right across the country. Here in Ottawa, a recent program to test asymptomatic students and their families found several positive cases. Since they weren't showing any symptoms, without testing, these kids would have been in a busy classroom. But because of ramped-up testing, their families knew to isolate at home instead. Testing widely and often reduces transmission. That keeps cases down and it keeps people safe. Our government has sent 19.6 million rapid tests to the provinces and territories, with more on the way. We all want to see cases go down. We know that these tests can make a difference. Tests must be deployed. They can't be allowed to expire. And testing, like more contact tracing and vaccines, are going to be an essential part of the months forward as we get past this virus and this pandemic as quickly as possible. We all need to keep working together on all these different aspects to make sure we get through the summer in right form. En plus de parler de la nécessité d'utiliser les tests de dépistage lors de nos rencontres régulières avec les premiers ministres, on travaille maintenant avec le secteur privé pour déployer ces tests rapides dans les milieux de travail à l'échelle du pays. Le dépistage est efficace et on veut s'assurer que les tests de dépistage soient utilisés. Ces outils essentiels nous aideront à traverser les mois d'hiver et à amorcer la période de vaccination en masse au printemps dans le meilleur état possible. As Canadians, we all look forward to spring, this year more than ever. But I know we can all agree that there's one part of the season nobody likes: tax filing. Even so, it's important to file your taxes so you get things like the Canada Child Benefit, the Work From Home deduction, and the Climate Action Incentive. These benefits and credits can really help, especially after such a tough year. So that's what you should be able to focus on. Right now, I don't want you to have to worry about what you may owe in taxes. That's why we're providing 1 year without interest on certain 2020 tax debt, giving people more flexibility to repay amounts owing from last year. If you received federal emergency benefits, like the CERB, and you made up to $75,000 in taxable income, you will not have to pay interest on 2020 tax debt until April of next year. Our priority is ensuring that you and your family get through this pandemic and back on your feet. Cette dernière année a été assez difficile pour ceux qui ont perdu leur emploi ou ceux dont les heures ont été réduites. Que vous puissiez vous remettre sur pied sans que vous voyiez à vous soucier de l'impôt à payer. L'année dernière, plus de 8 millions de gens ont eu recours à la PCU pour payer leur loyer et mettre de la nourriture sur leur table. Je sais que certaines personnes ont souligné des renseignements imprécis concernant les exigences en matière de revenus nets et de revenus bruts pour qualifier pour la PCU. On veut clarifier la question. Les gens qui ont présenté une demande en fonction de leur revenu brut plutôt que de leur revenu net n'auront pas à retourner les paiements qui leur ont été versés tant que leur demande respecte également les autres critères d'admissibilité. For people who accessed CERB based on their gross income instead of their net income, as long as you meet the other eligibility criteria, you will not have to return those CERB payments. When we rolled out CERB last March, it was because people needed help in the face of a global, once-in-a-generation crisis. Well, the pandemic isn't yet over, so neither is our support. If you need help while you look for work, the Canada Recovery Benefit and Enhanced EI are there for you. If you need to take time off to care for your family, look to the Canada Recovery Caregiver Benefit. If you need to stay home from work because you're sick, the Canada Recovery Sickness Benefit is there to help. And if you need support on payroll for your employees or costs for your businesses, the wage subsidy and business loans are made for you. It's not easy to run a business from home or adapt to new public health rules. Yesterday, I spoke with Karen and Fahie. They're two young Black entrepreneurs who have big plans. Karen showed me her photography studio and talked about the great work she's doing supporting Black-owned businesses and products and her excitement about moving forward to a bricks-and-mortar storefront as we move through this pandemic. But right now, she's all online. And Faye talked to me about the costs of shipping coffee across the country and his excitement about building his business and also moving towards opening a coffee shop once we get through this pandemic as well. They all have big plans. And for all the young entrepreneurs across the country, all the entrepreneurs who are looking to go digital, to change their way of doing things, to grow through this pandemic and beyond, know that we are there to help you get through the hurdles and barriers in your way and create success, not just for you, but for employees, for community, and for our whole economy. We're here to support Canadian business owners, from training on e-commerce to targeted initiatives like the Black Entrepreneurship Program and the Women Entrepreneurship Strategy. Because no matter who you are, an entrepreneur, a worker, a parent, we've got your back. Cette pandémie n'est pas facile pour personne. En plus, l'hiver peut rendre tout ça encore plus difficile. Pendant le mois de février, parfois, on a l'impression que le printemps n'arrivera jamais. C'est normal si on ne se sent pas au sommet de notre forme. N'oubliez pas qu'il existe des ressources pour vous aider. Et d'ailleurs, ce jeudi, c'est la journée nationale du service 211, qui nous rappelle qu'on a tous accès à une ligne d'aide confidentielle et sans frais en composant le 211. Que vous ayez besoin d'un soutien en santé mentale ou de renseignements au sujet de services communautaires, n'hésitez pas à composer le numéro. Le service est offert 24 heures sur 24 dans 150 langues. Les agents à l'autre bout du fil vous aideront à trouver les bonnes ressources. Vous n'êtes pas seul. Alors, s'il vous plaît, demandez de l'aide et prenez soin de vous. Before I close, I'd like to take a moment to recognize a great public servant, Ian Shugart, the Clerk of the Privy Council. Ian has been an extraordinary leader through this public health crisis. He's leading the public service in tremendous efforts and supports to get Canadians through this pandemic. And as he faces health challenges, I want him to know that we're all pulling for him. Merci beaucoup tout le monde.